way may be to put something in front of it, which doesn't mean that.
This chair's gonna hold it though.
Need some kind of piece of wood to jam in there.
I know.
Yeah, wood jammer.
That's just gonna slide right on down. Something to keep the door open. I made it.
Oh, that's nice.
Thank you.
I like it. I like it.
Thank you.
So how long did this masterpiece take you?
Well, half an hour, but it's supposed to have a piece of glass in the back. But I put the glass down on the sofa in my office, and one of my clients came in and sat on the glass and broke it. I know, it was very embarrassing. Oh, that's good. I guess put it over here.
Big cake.
Would that cake constitute a low residue diet?
Yes. Low carbs, no carbs, no sugar, solid cholesterol. Pound of best cholesterol all around.
Birthday to ADDventure.
Look at the weather. There's some nice weather out there. It's beautiful.
Inexplicable.
The Lone Ranger rides again. But where is Tonto? Who knows? There was an Indian attack that was imminent, and Tonto decided to go somewhere else. Wise man.
I'll unlock this for you.
Yeah, please.
Edward? Oh, that's as good as a knife. Here, I got a pin. Linda? Oh, you need it for that.
Oh, I thought it was nice. Don't you? Was that from where? Classic Cake?
We're upside down.
Oh, well, that should be good.
Oh, yeah, it tastes good, but it doesn't look as nice as I thought. What's this?
Just oh, this is what the flower they were packed in.
Oh,
But see, you're supposed to trim them. But
Here's the thing. I'll take it off when you
oh, Gene,
Yes.
don't forget in the beginning, you acknowledge any of the presenters that are here. Okay?
And you're going to tell me who they are, right?
When I know that's coming, it's supposed to come, is Eileen Hill.
Right. And you're going to point her, well,
You are merciless. Merciless. She's not getting me a pretzel in peace.
The balloons.
Gee.
they're not,
I was gonna get birthday, and then I know we get birthday, anniversary, that's what I got.
perfect.
Looks good.
What do you think? Yes. Very nice. Very nice.
Pat, we got these flowers from Betty Gibson. These flowers for ADDventure Exec Board. Congratulations on 10 years.
Oh, well, you wanna put it somewhere?
Um,
I'll keep it.
over there. So maybe, I don't think so. What did we say? Ask Jean. I don't think, are we collecting money today? Anything you
No.
want.
Oh, it should be a freebie.
No?
I don't think so, no.
I think I have a stalker on my heels. Stalking you on this person.
Oh, that's right, we're not collecting money.
Okay, you want me to stick it under there?
Yeah, look, we're not collecting money.
If we move that
All right, I wasn't sure. I forgot.
If anybody wants to change, they can.
No, we don't have.
You remember Fred? Remember Fred from before?
Edward,
The guy who takes.
could you move that table, please, over there in front of the window? And because Pat came with a tablecloth and she came with this
Well, you know
litter
what, you don't have
stuff.
to use it, I'll keep it.
Oh, no, no.
I can't wear this, it doesn't match. I don't know, where do you want to put the balloon?
Cool. Congratulations, all of us for 10 years.
Wait,
He's too busy getting married.
The chair. Chair, the end rows or something.
He said he tried, he didn't think so. Claire has a commitment already, she couldn't come. Josh said he would try.
no.
So,
Decent share.
yeah. No. I know. I know we will be paying. You brag, Pat, because
Next time you make these, change the PO box, it's 1281. Okay.
all right. How many times Eddie and I've been MDs, doctors? So don't worry about it. We get called doctor all the time. And we used to correct you.
you are. Where's the, you can't write the prescription, that's all, that's a shame.
You have patience enough you can fill it out?
Okay, where's the tablecloth?
Oh.
Yes,
Just say
nice.
You know, I mean, if you couldn't use that, it would be very nice.
Well, that's cute. And we'll bring the cake here too.
Okay, oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, and so it'll be our festivity. And you know what? If nobody else comes, we're partying.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because as Eddie said, when I said, Eddie, I don't know, we do all this work,
Make
and
a
he said, it's not.
I'll make a liquor run. Yeah.
I just keep thinking of it that way. He's
Where do you put these?
over there, because I'm moving the cake over there too.
Okay. Want to take it out of the box or no?
I would like to take it out, but I don't think, isn't it
Okay.
hard to take it? Have you ever taken them out?
Well, you know, I didn't know whether to get birthday or anniversary. Because I thought, like Jean said, no, not birthday. So I said, yeah, that's, okay.
Yeah, well, this is what it says. It says anniversary here.
Yeah, oh, good, okay.
I think it's cute. Oh, Eddie.
It doesn't say it's a boy.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, hell yeah, how many of those?
Well, it was 4 wrapped into one.
Well, make it more convenient, they save paper.
Wish you had a,
Yeah. No, careless. I didn't take my Ritalin in. Quite evident. Who were you expecting, anybody? I mean, you know, if you heard from anybody, that's.
Yes,
probably
okay, Eileen Hill is supposed to be coming. That's the only professional I heard from, only presenter I heard from. Betty Gibson is supposed to be coming. Okay, and she wrote an email and said she's getting to Huh?
From, yeah, they're Gibsons from Marlton, I don't know.
There's a
Do you
Gibson
know?
house in Rome.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
Famous house.
So
Is it?
she's coming. Oh, and guess who came to the office today? He almost fell over. Do you remember Fred?
No, who's Fred? Keep talking.
Fred.
Yeah, it was, just take all the pictures.
Pictures?
Oh, yeah, okay,
Haven't seen him in
Gray-
years.
Gray hair.
yeah.
How can I describe? Fred who? Oh, yeah, yes.
How was the meeting?
Pretty much
Comprehensive.
all the
Big
meetings.
table?
Yeah,
Oh, we didn't want one.
but there wasn't hardly anything left.
All right, so this
kind
way
of-
the consistent way.
Yeah, it's pretty consistent there. And what was the other things? What else did we get out of that meeting with that guy?
Yeah.
Dean's.
John Dean.
Didn't get much.
This is all, well, this is, I can put this back in. This is just the, our application. No, that was November 19th. That was one, but it's just the things I had to do, so I wanted.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, no, just so we know what we had to do.
And he's ADD, he was given a diagnosis in the 70s. And he has this website that has different topics on it, but one whole page or more than one page is dedicated to ADD. And he started this thing because he thought it'd be fun, is you know your ADD when, and you fill in the blank, and anybody can contribute. So I've already put about 10 postings up.
Eddie, do you have the
And
free tickets?
I brought in a bunch of them. I think they're really good.
Okay.
Not just mine, but others.
Yeah, yeah, that's neat.
You mean the ones we're giving away?
So I'll share them.
Yeah.
I have them,
So this is just,
First, second, and third prize.
okay, and we'll make them up.
Oh, how about, do we have we didn't bring the,
Forgot, that's okay.
say, okay, you.
Here's about adventure now, we can start out.
Yeah, they're out there. And, oh, I need to give you, so don't forget, 'cause
Sue, sit down and make, 50 cards, or, you know, tickets. I bought these. Okay. So just divide it in half, like one here and one there, and just. I went down to get them from that girl, and she's not there. She told me, she told me. She said, get them from you tonight. Okay, I got them. Okay, I'm gonna put them in my pocket. But he said, at least we have it, you know.
What?
For someone here now. But
Don't say anything.
I'm not saying nothing.
That's nice. Oh, no, that you don't have to because it's raining. I didn't expect you. Hi. Don't worry about it. Everybody's late.
Yeah, it's crappy weather.
Yeah, yeah.
we're having cake later.
I know, that's beautiful.
Oh, yeah. On the left, okay, bye.
All right. Gee, thanks, right?
Thank you.
Tell me if you want it. You printed it, tell me I'll print it.
They look like they've been there for a while.
Because I can't stop eating.
Yeah, I think I already took it off. No, I took that person off first.
Yes, exactly. Her one of her oldest sons is
All right, we're gonna get started.
Yeah, I'll wait back.
I want to welcome everyone to our 10th anniversary meeting. It was 10 years ago this month that we had our first meeting for adults with ADD. Thank you. Besides our board members, we have one person who was at that original first meeting, Linda. But anyway, I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. Our surprise to you basically is that you didn't have to give us a donation. We're letting you come in and enjoy the festivities with us this evening. Let me just go over a few things that I have to cover here. Oh, by the way, this is, you can tell that this is a very important event. I'm wearing a tie. I haven't worn a tie in about 5 years. And I even made it festive, okay? On your way in on the table, we have our schedule through June of 2005. If you didn't pick one up, you can on the way out. Also, if you forget on the way out, you can always get this, pick this up, or log on to our website, ADDventureforadults.org. It's also on the website. While I'm on the subject, our January meeting, January 13th, the topic, we're going to have an ADD adult panel. We did this once last year. It was very successful. The actual panel members, we don't know who they are going to be yet, but I'm sure you'll find it a very interesting evening, and the adults that we have will give you their experiences, and it'll be opened up to questions. Also, talking about that meeting, there's this yellow sheet that talks about that. You might want to pick that up also. And we have a brochure out on the table. Everything that we have here is on the website. If you don't want to pick these up, you can find all of this on the website. Tonight we have refreshments. Help yourself. We'll be cutting a cake later on. Basically, tonight what we're going to do is give you a history of our organization, how we got started, and each one of us will give you a personal glimpse of our involvement with this group over the last 10 years. Then we have a little bit of entertainment. I will save that for later.
You're gonna dance?
You don't want to see me dance. And then we have some certificates of appreciation to hand out to all the presenters that we've had in the last 10 years. We'd be lucky if some of them showed up this evening. And then we have a few other things. At the very end, when you came in, you should have gotten, being ADD, we forgot the raffle tickets. So you should have gotten a piece of paper with a number on it. We will be giving away 3 prizes. Third prize is a pass for 3 meetings during 2005, to be used anytime between January and December. Second prize is 5 free passes during 2005, and the first prize is a free pass to each meeting during 2005.
That was a cure.
There ain't no cure. There's as much a cure for ADD as there is for procrastination. How's that?
I printed that out yesterday, actually.
What, the cure?
Procrastination.
Oh, okay.
Raffle also includes a book.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, yes, there is a book that we have.
They have it out there?
Anyway, I think it was driven to
Oh.
distraction.
Answers to distraction.
Answers to distractions. Yeah, okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with Ed and Linda Barniscus. Thank you, Linda. And Ed and Linda will give you a history of, thank you, of our support group from 1994 through the present. Ed, Linda?
Okay, this isn't going to be long. This will be very short. Try to make it entertaining. But in 1994, we decided that it was time to have a support group for adults with ADD. Back in 1987 was the first time that I had an adult that had ADD. And it was referred by a psychiatrist to me to help them with organization, to evaluate them, and help with some developing strategies and accommodations. And I said, I don't know how to do that. I only work with kids. I've never worked with adults. He said, yeah, well, no one knows how to work with adults with ADD. He said, so at least you've got some experience. I began. And from that point on, we realized there was a great need because you don't usually outgrow ADD. So in 1994, I had several adults that I had worked with by that point that I thought would really make a good exec board for an adult support group. So I contacted them, and I'm sure they're going to tell you their side of the story, but they very willingly said they would help. And we started out, our first official exec meeting was in September of '94. Our first meeting was December of '94. We've had one every month since, except for 2 months during the summer. We've had presenters here that are national presenters. We have physician panels, teen panels. We've had, also we've let people come with different types of treatment. I guess you would say alternative treatments. Thank you, yes. And we've had them present. If we thought there was any way that would help the adult learn more about ADD and what is available out there. We've been really pleased with our presenters. Many of them have written books. They presented nationally. And they've come here out of their, again, we don't pay, out of their goodwill just to help us learn. Our format, our mission statement for ADDventure was educate. We wanted to educate. When you came here, we wanted you to leave with information. We wanted to keep you in the forefront of what's going on, not only out there with the medication, as because lately there's been a lot of new medications coming out, not a lot, but there's been new medications coming out and different types of long-acting, etc., and we want to keep you informed of that, but also your rights, 504 rights for adults in the workplace, even if you want to go back to school. So we've had to keep ourselves abreast of this, therefore we all attend workshops, conferences, books, we read the books that come out. We, besides presenting here, you see us once a month here, but we also have to meet prior to this meeting. And we meet at least once a month, sometimes it's more. And ones that have been here for a long time, 10 years, we don't get any reimbursement for this, except for just the pleasure of seeing everybody. And even we've all said this, at times we've been tired. It's like, we have to think of another meeting, another agenda for the year, and this is exhausting. And then we come to these meetings, And there's never been a meeting that we don't leave saying, all right, it's worth it. I'm glad we're still doing it, even if we've only had 1 or 2 people that we've touched. We've gotten the information out there, and we're hopefully supporting the people and feeling good about themselves, understanding ADD, and moving ahead with it. So it's been 10 years. This is our celebration. We're very proud. It's unusual for an organization like this to go on that long, and I really feel that we owe it to all of you. I thank you for supporting us. Yeah.
No. Thank you very much, Linda. Actually, this being our 10th anniversary, through all the meetings and seminars that I guess Ed and Linda have gone to, national meetings and such, we've actually found out that we are probably the longest running adult ADD support group in the United States. There isn't another one that even comes close to the longevity that we have produced here. Thank yourselves, really. And whereas it almost goes against all the rules, or all the what's the word I'm looking for? You don't know.
This is the one, Barry, come on,
I'm not paying attention.
Basically, people with ADD go from one thing to another, and they cannot, they cannot do anything, or
Consistency,
right. We were speaking amongst ourselves after one of the meetings recently to try and figure out, well, what makes us different, and we hit upon a couple things. One, Ed and Linda have been together, been married for what, 32 years?
34.
34 years. My wife and I just recently celebrated our 30th wedding anniversary. So, it's like Barry and his wife have been married for what,
31 years.
31 years.
33.
Sue and her husband, 30. So it's things like that. And Pat's been single for how long? See, but it's consistent,
Pat's gonna have her chance to get back.
Oh,
Don't
yes,
worry
I know,
about it.
I know. That's why I didn't say too much. But it's things like that that have helped us to basically break the mold and be out there for you and everyone else, as far as being a support group for adults who have ADD and their families. So I just wanted to bring that fact up for everybody. The next thing we're going to do is all of us are going to give you a little bit of a vignette. Is that what you're saying? Vignette of our experience with ADDventure. And these are personal stories, and we hope that you find some something good out of that might touch you and help you going forward. Does anybody want to go first, or am I going to volunteer?
Go ahead,
You
you're
just
not gonna
volunteer.
move. Go
I just
ahead.
volunteer. Oh, first of all, before I forget, Ed, can you go? Did everyone pick up one of these on their way in?
Everybody get a ticket? Everybody get a ticket?
Because we're going to have a raffle afterwards, so please, if you didn't pick one up on your way in, please pick one up. I'll make sure I'll ask again before we do that. Okay, I guess I will go first. I was diagnosed, let's see, we started in December of 1994, so I was diagnosed in May or June of 1994. And it was probably the darkest part of my professional career because right after I got diagnosed, of course I didn't say anything to my employer, I was let go from my job because I couldn't concentrate. I put a hell of a program together for getting another job though, because I was on Ritalin by then, and I didn't stay unemployed very long. But I became diagnosed because my wife and I always went with my son to his appointments with his doctor. And after about a year or so, he was being tested, and the doctor was going on or something about my son couldn't pay attention, couldn't do this, couldn't do that, and I just made an offhanded comment that, you know, that sounds like me. I mean, I was the same way when I was his age, and for the most part, I still am. And the doctor turned and said, "Well, you probably have ADD also."
Do the wave.
I said, "Well, everybody, you know, I can't possibly have ADD. Everybody knows adults don't get ADD. You grow out of it." And the doctor said, "No, they don't. You know, adults just find a way to compensate. Sometimes it's a good compensation, sometimes it's a bad compensation. But that's basically what I was doing. For you know so many years, I was just compensating. But I had noticed that I guess the few years prior to being diagnosed, that all the things I had put in place to help myself were starting to fall by the wayside. I was getting a little bit older. I still couldn't concentrate. There was a lot of things that I counted on that I couldn't count on anymore. I used to have to walk around with Post-it notes in my pocket because I had to start writing stuff down. But shortly after that, I was recommended that I see a woman named Linda Barniscus and be tested, and to see if I had ADD. Well, I made that appointment. I kept that appointment. And here I am 10.5 years later. I was diagnosed. I started out taking 5 milligrams of Ritalin. And by the way, that's the only thing I've taken in 10 years. I haven't tried any of the other drugs. I've been asked, well, do I want to try this? Do I want to try that? And I don't, because this is working. Why should I want to try something else that I know, you know, I might have to take a chance on? But I know the first time that I took the medication, my sister was coming in from Idaho. I hadn't seen her in about 4 years. I picked her up at the airport around 7 o'clock, and I didn't realize it, but I talked until about 3 a.m. I had taken my Ritalin, and I was off. So it was finally around 3 o'clock. She said, "You got to stop. You know, I got to go to bed. I've got jet lag." And it's like, "Well, what do you mean? You know?" And I finally fell asleep around 5. So, but then from that point on, the Ritalin didn't have that kind of an effect on me. And I've been very, very happy I'm taking it. It's helped me immensely professionally. I keep focused. Right now, I am taking 100 milligrams a day, spread out over 5 doses, and it works wonderfully for me. Thank you. Who would like to go next, or should I pick somebody?
Pat.
Come on, Pat.
Being out in the hall.
Sue left her,
No,
yeah, that's
No,
typical Sue.
we will get Sue.
Yep.
Why don't you come up here?
Running
So,
out in
yes.
the hall every time they clap, and they're gonna pick somebody.
Okay, let me clarify this relationship thing, okay, this marriage thing. No. Marriage was always a scary thing to me, because I get bored real fast, and I just thought, oh my gosh, living with someone for more than a week was like just terrifying for me. I have been seeing this guy for 9 years, this friend of mine, this guy Tom. And when I take my Ritalin, I can tolerate him for longer periods of time. But the good thing is he goes home, and it's great. And then he comes over again, and it's all new and fresh again. So it's very stimulating for me, you know. And I know I'm very different from most of you, because probably all of you can tolerate a long-term relationship. No, not me. I mean, I can, but it has to be broken up and kind of exciting. I was diagnosed in 1996. I knew for a long time that something wasn't right. Got in trouble, then was sent to a neurologist who diagnosed me, got the medication, and all the channel surfing went away, and I was able to focus, and it just made a world of difference for me. But then I didn't have any skills to get organized and to do what I needed to do. So he recommended that I see Linda Borniskis to get tested, to titrate the medications, and I was on different medications. I was on Cylert, then I was on Adderall, and then I ended up on Ritalin and Concerta. And those medications have been titrated, and that's what I take, and I'm very efficient when I take them, and I take them consistently. That's a problem too. I started coming to ADDventure, the meetings, and then Linda asked if I would be on the exec board, and I was really thrilled to do that. And it's been really a great experience. The ADD part of my life, I want to read 2 poems, and one kind of gives a picture of right after I was diagnosed and got medication and started really understanding what it was all about. And the second one I wrote last year. I'm a school teacher, and we had to do professional development in-service workshops, which are, talk about torture. So they said we were able to choose, and I love to write, so I chose the writing project. And it was a multi-genre paper, and it's kind of neat. And I did write a poem, and the paper was more about educating my colleagues about what it's like for kids to have ADD, and what it's like for them to be sitting in their classrooms and giving them an idea. I mean, they just think that they're lazy, and if they tried harder, they could do it. All those crazy things. And as an adult and teacher with ADD, I had hoped to educate them, and I think I did a little bit. But the second poem is about my experience and more related to my teaching career and my current, state of mind with my ADD. But before I begin, when they talk about, they say everyone has symptoms of ADD. Everyone's distractible, everyone, is impulsive at some time or another. But it's when it impairs a major life activity. So I had to just bring this because it was just very coincidental that this is how ADD has impacted my life. My ability to get from one place to another has been severely impacted forever since I was able to drive. I've gotten tickets forever. My impulsive nature, if I don't take my meds, I get in all kinds of problems. And this was I could wallpaper a room with these. But it's ridiculous. And what happened was I didn't take my medication, my Ritalin in the morning, and people were just going too slow for me. So I passed illegally. I went through a Wawa parking lot to miss a light, then sped up to get through the next light, turned yellow. Man, I'm home free. I can beat went through the red light, and then the cop pulled me over. And I was just not able to put the brakes on, figuratively, at all. Literally, figuratively, in any way. In my car, in my mind, I was not able to do it. And then when the cop pulled me over, it was like, I know I did it. I know I did it. I know what I did. And he was a very nice guy. He said, I could rate you for 4 or 5 things. You're out of control. And I said, I know. I'm sorry. But he put it into one ticket, which was, very fortunate for me. And I think kind of the bad thing is I know a lot of officers and troopers and cops, and so I go to court and I call somebody, can you help me get the points off? And I end up really not paying points, but probably I should so that I learn a real lesson. But anyway, the ADD has really affected me. I've been very impulsive all my life, very impulsive. When I take my Ritalin and my Concerta, which kind of covers those rebounds and gaps during the day. I can focus cognitively, I'm sharp. People could cut me off left and right and I could really care less. You know, I'm able to just go with the flow and keep myself under control. And it makes a big difference. And so anyway, my first experience with ADD and getting diagnosed and really knowing what it was all about, I wrote this poem, and I'll read the first one for you. So you can hold my ticket. You can pay for me if you want. ADD and me. I hear a sound and look around. My mind is caught off guard. I wander back, but now lose track. Returning is so hard. I look at you, but then right through your words, I float away. I can't explain the mental train my thoughts take every day. I'm here, I'm there, I'm everywhere, and haven't moved an inch. And when I'm back, I can't react to chores that are a cinch. Listen, sit and focus seem reasonable to ask, but when I try, I wonder why I can't remain on task. I've lived this way most every day since I first went to school. Through many years and lots of tears, my mind I could not rule. It wandered out a window and off into a dream. And when the nuns would call my name, Catholic school, inside my brain I'd scream, huh, where are we? I'm in trouble now. If only I could focus on who and when and how. My college years brought lots of fears, but then I learned a trick. Caffeine and speed fulfilled my need to focus and to stick to whatever I was doing and whomever I was with. But then my life was filled with strife, and for years I was adrift. So I would teach and try to reach the kids that were like me. And then I knew that they were too, unique and fun and free. But losing ground, I roamed around a world of senselessness. My hopes and dreams then turned to schemes of finding how to focus. For many years I had no fears and risked most anything. My friends would try to rescue me from losing my whole being. I knew I wasn't crazy, but I could not explain the gradual loss of sanity that brought me so much pain. So when I hit rock bottom, I seemed to lose my soul. I didn't know if I could live. The demons took control. Then I prayed from day to day that God would get me through. And angels came and called my name and said, "We will help you." Once off that roller coaster ride that made me feel so bad, I got the help of specialists, so now I finally had the chance to tell my story to others just like me. I want to say there is a way to live with ADD. So now I know that even though I'm different from the rest, I'm wonderful and gifted, and I've learned to be my best. My ADD has sculpted me, and I am proud to say that life is great, and I can't wait for what it brings each day. To everyone who's helped me, I'm grateful through and through. My mind, my body, and soul are one because of you. That was my first poem. Thank you. And then this was the poem I wrote, basically, like I said, to my colleagues, explaining my experience and the kids' experience, and to try to get them to understand what we go through and live through every day. And it says, "Come walk in our shoes," meaning, those of us teachers, adults, kids who have ADD. And it was for teachers to read. "When I was a child, I loved to play. I ran, I jumped, had fun all day. But then I went to Catholic school and quickly learned the golden rule. Be good, don't lie, and say your prayers. God is watching, you better beware. Yet as I tried to sit and learn, out the window I would yearn, to run and play and be carefree. Cooped up in school's no fun for me. And when the nuns would call my name, lost in my thoughts, no answer came. So through the years, how hard I tried to pay attention, eyes open wide. Still bits and pieces of knowledge retrieved, but oh how much more I wish I received. Different was I, or maybe dumb, but how was I A-level since grade 1? So played I did, class clown I became, school was fun, all knew my name. Basketball star, student council rep, yet few believed I could take the next step. But to college I went and earned my degree. Relentless hard work paid off for me. Still, through my life I wondered why I flitted around like a butterfly. Why am I different? What's wrong with my brain? I partied on end and felt so insane. Then 6 months after my mom passed away, diagnosed with ADD to my dismay, I had an answer for all my pain. I wanted so badly to try to explain to everyone, especially my mom, why all my life I was rarely calm. To understand why I lived life on the edge, my brain was in chaos, my dreams in a wedge. After being diagnosed with ADD, I understood my students who were like me. Disorganized, impulsive, missing a deadline, but never meaning to not be on time. It's not on purpose the things we do. The wiring in our brains is a bit askew. Each day still a challenge, hard work I've done to help others see this battle can be won. Medication was the answer for me, Ritalin Concert to help me to see that I was normal like all the rest. Now I could focus and do my best. So try to remember those students who have ADD and frustrate you. Lost papers, missed work, they are not proud. They'd give anything to be off that cloud. And next time you enter a failing grade, a heavy price is often paid. It's hopeless, why bother, is what they think. Then all of a sudden, they're on the brink of failing some more. What else is new? Oh, how they wish they could be like you. Each day they try to get it together. Just walk in their shoes, help make their lives better.
Thank you very much. You've heard a couple of us mention that okay, we got a call from Linda, or we started seeing Linda. We were told to go see Linda Barniskis. Something you should know about our group. It's some people think that Ed and Linda run this group. They don't actually run the group. We all participate in making decisions. We all run the group. Ed and Linda are our professional advisors. They're the ones who know all the things that are going on with medications, with ADD. They're the ones who do the testing, and this is this is where we get our information from. The backbone of our group, yeah, you could probably say that. But they do help us run this group, and if it wasn't for the two of them, then we wouldn't be here for 10 years. So, thank you. Do you two want to participate in this? Okay.
What I wanted to kind of talk about was not so much how I got diagnosed, because there's nothing real exciting in that, but mostly the thing that I began to understand about ADD, and I guess the best way to put this is through a little story. It's a story about a guy that owned a little red sports car, and he used to love to drive this sports car, and he'd take it out into the country and just rev this thing up and go, and he just loved doing this, and he had certain roads that he would drive on. Well, one day he took the sports car out, and he was driving and pretty fast, having a good time, going around the corner, shifting gears. And as he comes into his favorite corner, he's whipping around this corner, and as he goes around the corner, out from the blind side of the corner comes this old beat-up pickup truck. And hanging out the driver's side window is this old farm girl. And as they pass each other on the road, she hollers at him, "Pig! Pig!" Well, he looks back at her and hollers, "Fat cow! Fat cow!" And when that happened, he kind of lost his orientation a little bit. And then he looked up, and when he looked up, guess what was standing in the middle of the road?
A pig.
A pig. So he had to cut the wheel and had to drive off and bounce through the field and, put some dents in that pretty red sports car. Well, what the story represents is paradigm shifting. This man went, when he was driving this car, and he saw this lady coming around the corner, he had a belief that was already there. And it wasn't until after he experienced this that his belief changed. Well, this same thing applies to ADD, because initially people see ADD as something terrible, and how are most of us brought to ADD? We're usually brought to it through failure and frustration and shame and embarrassment. But the paradigm shift that we learned was that ADD is a gift, and it is something very special, and people who have ADD have a lot that they can contribute, a lot that they can do. a lot that they can help other people and bring this whole thing around. So paradigm shifting, I think, was one of the most important things that I think I picked up in the whole process. And I think it's an important part of the healing process to get to the point where you can see in yourself that there are certain talents and there are certain abilities and there are certain gifts that ADD gives you. And I think you need to accept those and use those to your positive being as much as possible. As one person once said, you know, if you have weaknesses and you work on those weaknesses, what do you wind up with? Strong weaknesses. So we believe that you should work with the strengths that you have, and that can make a tremendous difference.
Thank you, Ed.
Look at that. Look at that. Sue.
You will.
Say something, Sue.
Linda, would you like to hear next?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to speak for Sue Novak, standing in the door. Sue has been with us from the very beginning, and I think Jean will confirm this. She's been our rock. I mean, whenever there's, look at her. She knows we're in trouble now with her being the rock. She's always been the one that's filled the gaps. That she's been. I said she's kind of like. We come up with all these creative ideas. ADDs are very creative, and through those of you who've been coming here for the 10 years know that we've had different people on the exec board. Jean, Sue, myself, and Ed came on really shortly after. Been on for the longest. We also have Betty Gibson here, who was on from almost the beginning also. She's hiding in the back. She doesn't want anybody to see her, but I know she's here. But we came up with creative ideas. We've had kids in their 20s on the board. Fantastic kids. Sean, then Adrian, and Sean and Adrian got married. They were both on the board. They got married and live in California now. Then we had Josh. Josh was on the board, and then Josh got married, and he left. But we made him, before he left, he had to bring his father. We said, we'll let you go if you bring your father, and he takes your place. So Barry came, and he took Josh's place. But one thing we have found, there was never, ever, during any of our meetings, a lack of creative ideas. We had things we were going to do that were unbelievable. If any of you sat in our exec meetings, you would say, ADDventure's going far. Wow, they're going to write a book. They're going to do TV shows. They're going to market things. They're going to, but we were ADD. So most of it didn't get done. We did get one newsletter out. This is ADDventure. Now Jean, who is our accountant and the president of our ADDventure, wrote a letter on a thing on procrastination. And how long did it take for you to, did it ever get in here?
Yes, it is.
It did get in there, okay. It took forever for procrastination to get into our newsletter. But I
I'm
can...
still working on the second part of that.
The second part of it. But the one thing, it was interesting, today I went to Staples and I had to get a planner for next year, and they haven't yet made a planner that I like. All right, I mean, and by the way, that was another thing. I also had a planner made, and I was going to go have that, printed and be sold and everything else, and we went, but just kind of didn't follow through with it. Typical ADD.
This is all going to tie back to Sue, right?
Oh, I was finished with Sue.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Next.
But then
Back
that's
to
ADD.
Sue. Back to Sue. Let me pull this around.
Gee, she's gonna get you after that.
Actually, this is what I do at the exec meetings. Everybody's going in, and I bring everybody around to where we were supposed to be.
Do you have anything?
Nah. But Sue, back to Sue, she has been with all of us in our great creative ideas and things we've come up with. Sue's always been the one that would say, okay, do you want me to call and get the seating arrangement for the meeting? Do you want me to make sure that they have the tea? Do you want me to take care of the P.O. box and go get the mail? Oh, yeah, you can do that. Okay, now we can do, but we were always with these creative, but if it wasn't for Sue, and I told her this, because she was out for a little while, for almost a year, I guess, she was sick. And we are so glad she's back. When she came back, we said how much we missed her, and she was like, you did? You really? I think what it is, people with ADD, we need a Sue in our life. we need somebody who keeps the, you know, the things going for us, because we do go off on tangents. We do have fantastic ideas.
We lost the key to the post office box, so we had to wait for you to come back and go get the mail again.
That's why we never got any yours.
It's only a year.
It's only- But Sue's been great, and my experience with Adventure has been, I just can't even tell you how phenomenal.
How
Yes.
did we find Sue? How did she find us? Did you say that already? I don't remember.
How did Sue get part of the group?
Yeah, she obviously doesn't have ADD.
She does.
But you just organize stuff.
Okay, what it is ADD is different for everybody, and that's the whole thing. And you need to find a complement. Both Eddie and I have ADD, but it's an entirely different type. I mean, I'm constantly going. I'm hyperactive. I'm always talking, always moving. I make sure, by the way, the checkbook's always done. You know, I couldn't stand it if it wasn't bounced or whatever. He doesn't care. And if he does, whenever he does the checkbook, I always have to go back and check his figures and go, oh, shoot, he missed that one again, yeah. But he keeps things laughing. I mean, he keeps me upbeat. Otherwise, I'd be so serious, I get so intense sometimes, he keeps me laughing. Okay, he's the one, the creative one. He comes out with all these really, you know, neat things to do. So it's finding your match. But with ADD and with Adventure, all I can say is, I was at Staples today, and I met a lady, and I didn't even know it. I was just talking, and she says, well, what do you do for a living? I was trying to buy the planner, and I said, you know, I told her, and she says, oh, I'm in special education. She says, and I just took off because, you know, for a couple of years because I had my children. She says, how long have you been in the field? And I went, let me see, 1969? She says, oh, I guess you're really bored with it. She says, are you burnt out? Have you gotten burnt out with it? And I looked at her, and I went, no. How could you ever get burnt out with working with ADD people? And that's it. You can't. They're great. I love doing it, and you learn. I mean, I learn more from the people that I work with, I think, than I give them most of the time. So that's my story.
Thank you. Thank you, Sue.
Thanks for bringing me back. Okay.
All right, we're gonna marry.
This is our entertainment for tonight also.
Well, maybe. Let me introduce myself again. I'm Barry Klieger, and my son Josh was diagnosed with ADD when he was about 4 up in New York City at Columbia Presbyterian Neuropsychiatric Institute. And he was very hyperactive. He started taking meds, and making a long story short, he went through high school without meds, got to college and hit a brick wall because he was very bright, but he couldn't get organized, and he studied so hard he burned himself out. So he quit 2 colleges and finally went back to NJIT, New Jersey Institute of Technology, where he graduated with a degree in computer engineering. And I know I'm bragging here, but I can't help myself. He graduated with a 3.97 Q. So here's a kid who's ADD. And this is a kid, when we first moved to Marlton, we came to the special ed building because we went to the Marlton system to know who our son was and what his needs were. And at that time, they had a director who was not the brightest bulb, and she wasn't very sensitive. And she walks out to the waiting room, and well anyway, my wife and I are there, Josh is sitting between us, and she comes out in this open waiting room and she says, oh, that must be Josh. He looks perfectly normal. Said that in the waiting room. I was ready to walk out. But Josh has done well. I have a daughter, Sarah, who is not ADD. She has some of her own demons to deal with, but she's also doing very well. I went to a conference some years back. I heard Ed Hallowell speak. I'm sorry, John Rady. Heard John Rady and his wife, both of whom are ADD. She's also learning disabled. And I went with my wife because I wanted to learn more about it. I'm also a professional social worker. I'm a licensed clinical social worker, but I don't work with clients directly at this point. I work in administration. But I had interest in it because of my son. And I came out of the conference, and some of you who have been here before may have heard this story. I came out of the conference and I sat in the van, and we were getting ready to go home, and I put the key in the ignition. I just sit there. And my wife says, she's very perceptive, and she says, what's the matter? And I said, I don't know. And I started to cry. And I said, I think this explains why my life has been so difficult all these years. And I don't remember a lot of things, but I remember those exact words. And then I went to Linda. Linda worked with my son Josh for quite a while, and was really very helpful in getting him through school and getting him into a social life and all sorts of good things. And then I went to Linda and had her do an evaluation on me, and even though I didn't want to initially believe it, and I still sometimes doubt it, I'm ADD. Big surprise. My son said something, and I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but once he was really out of control and I lost my temper and I smacked him like that with an open hand on his thigh, and I felt really bad about it. He felt bad about it. And he was 7 years old. He ran up to his room. I went up and I apologized to him. And I said, Josh, but you have to realize I was driving a car. You were distracting me. We could have had an accident. I said, everything was going in one ear and out the other. And he said, no, Dad, it wasn't going in one ear. I said, what do you mean? He said, because you forgot to give me my Ritalin today. I said, well, but that can't be the answer for everything. And he says, no, Dad, you really don't understand. You see, and this is a quote from a 7-year-old, Ritalin is my antenna, unquote. 7-year-old said that, and that blew me away. I think it was a year ago, wasn't it, Linda, when I did the comedy thing? Yes. I was drafted to do comedy. I mentioned the fact that I might do some comedy, and I got to the meeting and didn't plan a thing, because that's me. And Linda was sitting next to me, and Gene was up emceeing, and Gene says, well, who do we have next for talent? Because it was talent night. And Linda says, Barry's going to do stand-up comedy. And I said, what? No. But the limelight got me. Obviously, I like the limelight. I flunked conduct in 5th grade. I told all of these great jokes. My teacher flunked me in conduct, and at the end of the term, I said, why did you flunk me in conduct? He said, because you're always telling jokes. I said, well, you keep laughing at them. He said, well, they're funny. But I flunked conduct. So I do like the limelight. I don't mind saying that. I'm a punter. If you give me any topic in the world, almost, I can punt on it. But I won't punish you tonight. Well, already just did. I like to do a lot of research. I like to write, and I don't like to read. And that's a contradiction, and some people have even commented seriously. They said, Barry, you write so well. How can you write so well, but you don't read? I don't have the patience to read. I'm not taking meds for ADD. I'm taking meds for depression and anxiety, which is often comorbid, as you may very well know, with ADD. I am now entertaining the idea of taking meds for ADD, and I'm in the process of getting closer and closer. And Linda probably won't believe it until it happens, but I actually called my doc and asked her to send me a prescription, and I'll probably think about that for a week or two. But I'll probably try it and see how it works. I love research, and I go online a lot, and for me, the computer has been a great find because I have trouble staying organized. I can't read my own handwriting. I write a note, I put it on a piece of paper, and I put the piece of paper somewhere, and then I can't find the piece of paper. Or if I do find it, I can't read the note. Or if I can read the note, I don't write enough words to know what it means. So the computer is helpful, and I love research. And lo and behold, last night, shows you how much I prepared in advance. Last night I found a site, and I'll pass this around, or you can remember the name. It's FDISK, fdisk.com. It's some guy who in the 70s was evaluated in 1975, and he was labeled by his doctors as hyperactive ADD. And he developed this site that has a number of different things on it, but including an ADD page, which he sought to make humorous. Ed, do you know this one? Do you know this site? No. And he's entitled this page, You Know You Have ADD When. And then you can type in anything you want and post it. And it just comes up listed. Just like this. So this is what I'm doing at work today, when I'm supposed to be doing work, shows that, which really is an ADD thing. Although sometimes you have to be honest with yourself, and I do myself. Sometimes I use the ADD as an excuse. Well, I'm ADD, I'm supposed to be distracted. But sometimes you are. But I'll just read a few of these, and I highlighted only one on each page. I have a bunch of pages. But some of these I felt really pertain to me or somebody I know. And I think many of you can relate to this. This probably was my son. You know you have ADD when, and somebody wrote this, you get called into the principal's office at school and get accused of being drunk or high, all because you forgot to take your meds. You're so hyperactive. My son was in the last day of nursery school, after 2 years in that nursery school, and on the very last day, the principal tells my wife, we don't think he's ready for kindergarten. Why not? She tells us for an hour what she didn't tell us for 2 years. And when we put him into the public, we decided not to put him in the public school and put him into a Montessori school, which is the best thing we had ever done for him. And for the first 2 weeks of his school experience, he washed rocks. You know, you could say, gee, I'm paying Montessori school to have him wash rocks. That's what he wanted to do. After he washed rocks, he started washing other things, but then he got into reading and he got into writing. We got him special help. He needed a PhD who was an expert in reading. She taught him to read by the chunk method. Tank, thank, sank, bank. A-N-K is the chunk. And he learned to read. Inside of 6 months, he went from, he was probably in the 2nd grade, he went from 2nd grade reading level, and he was in the 2nd grade to 5th grade reading level. So he just needed the right help. Getting back to this, you know you have ADD when you are told talking to you is like watching TV and you have the remote control. Sound familiar? This one is definitely me when I make a recipe of any sort. You know you have ADD when you're making jam and you have to start over more than 10 times measuring the sugar because you keep forgetting how many cups you already put in the bowl. I think these are quite brilliant little, and some of these are made up, I'm sure, because I made up some at the very end. I had to, of course, outdo everybody. Surprise, surprise. This one I love. You know you have ADD when you reach for your car's radio volume knob to turn down the headlights of oncoming traffic. I'm not sure I understand it, but it sounded fun. Well, this was me today. You know you have ADD when you're at work and are supposed to be doing something important, but you're reading the entries on this site instead. So, that was me. Oh, this one is cool. You know, you've heard of perseveration? When a person, you know, ADD people can often be, they're distractible, they can't pay attention, but sometimes you get stuck on playing Pac-Man, and you can play Pac-Man for 20 hours until you drop. So this one says, you know you have ADD when you're playing solitaire on the computer, and the season opener of your favorite show that ended with a breathtaking cliffhanger comes on the TV in the next room, and you miss it because you refuse to stop playing solitaire until you win. I mean, isn't that the truth?
3 times in a row.
Isn't that the truth? This is a true story, this person says. You know you have ADD when you are frantically searching for your cell phone only to realize that you are talking on it. This person said it's true. I mean, I once was looking for my glasses around the house, and they were up there for an hour. They really were. And then I finally looked in the mirror. I said, what's that? Oh, yeah. This one, just to give you some insight, because I wanted to combine this with humor, but also give you a little insight into what I'm all about. This is definitely me, because I make puns and connections that other people don't even begin to think about. You know you have ADD when you regularly are hit with the most amazing insights, which turn out to be mundanely obvious to the rest of the world. Interspersed with those events, you often see some obvious inference in a huge collection of random, unrelated facts, and you state the obvious, only to have everyone stare blankly at you, wondering where that came from. 3 days later, they all finally get it and congratulate you on your most amazing insight. I mean, I make puns, and I make them with a straight face, and if people at work, you know, people who know I pun sort of look for it and they get it, but other times, no. And sometimes I say things when I shouldn't. When I was in high school, I got thrown out of a physics class because the physics teacher was my chem teacher from the year before, and I thought I was buddy-buddy with him, and he was nervous teaching physics. He was not a physics teacher, and he was struggling. And he was talking about magnets, and he said, well, the closer you bring the pole of the magnet to the other pole of the magnet, the further they push off or something. And I just, in my brain, I had this strange association. The closer you shave, the more you need Noxema. And that's what I said. I said it in class. Well, the closer you shave, the more you need Noxema. What did you say, Barry? And he literally tossed me out of the room and was furious with me. And I thought it was very funny. You know, he didn't think it was
funny.
Well, maybe he was angry because he couldn't think of it.
Darn funny. I went in class with you.
Oh, this is a good one. You know you have ADD when you leave the house knowing that you've forgotten something, but you're running late, so you go anyway. You get into the car, in the garage, buckle up, put the car in reverse. You're confused by the crashing noise behind you as you back into the garage door that you have forgotten to open. So, all right, I don't think I'm going to read all the ones that I have, but I'm going to just pick out the real good ones. And then I want to get to the ones I wrote, because I think they're brilliant. This is true, I really do think, for ADD people. I know I have this with my wife. My wife is a bright woman, but she speaks slowly. She deliberates between her thoughts. She'll sit there for like 10, 15 seconds formulating her next phrase or sentence. And I'm like, get to the bottom line already! I really have trouble dealing with it. Even my kids do. And, well, one of them is ADD. This says, you know you have ADD when talking to normal, linear people is painfully slow and arduous because it takes them so long to connect their thoughts and so long to find ways to express them. The pauses between their words are enormous, and as a result of their limitations, they can't keep up with the speed at which you impart information. Poor things. It must be dreadful to exist like that. But I really have a hard time. I'm constantly finishing people's thoughts, and luckily the people I work with are understanding, because my boss is not, he's a bright man, but he's not particularly verbally articulate, and he'll start saying something and he's reaching for the word, and I'll just give him the word. Yeah, right. You know, and now he turns to me, you know, like, and it's like, I try not to embarrass him. He's a nice guy. I really like him. Oh, this one's cute. Driving to work one day, you know you're ADD when you're driving to work one day, you realize you forgot your retainer on the nightstand. Your tongue feels the fronts and backs of your teeth, and sure enough, it isn't there. You're about to turn a car around and panic that your teeth will rearrange themselves in one day when you realize you haven't worn a retainer since junior high 10 years earlier. This one is the creative part of ADD. You know you have ADD when you unload the dishwasher using only a pair of tongs, because at the time it seemed like a fantastic idea. You know, and then when you're cleaning out the broken plates, then you think differently, right? You know you have ADD when you burn the Jell-O. I don't know, anybody ever burn Jell-O? This one is a little bit risque, but I don't think so, not with the advertisements on TV for Viagra. It says here, you know you have ADD, and this is from a woman's perspective. You know you have ADD when your husband will never need Viagra because you can't pay attention that long. Okay, moving on. This is my son when he was younger. It really was. You know you have ADD when you were little. You used to chase people around and bite them like you were a dog. My son would do that. He once bit my wife, once. And the smack I gave him paled in comparison, and he never bit her again. This one's embarrassing for men. You know you have ADD when you notice that your pants are half unzipped and wonder, how long have I been walking around like this? All right, now, folks, I'm going to end it with a flurry of my own. And I have something in the bag here for everybody. It's my Christmas gift. You know, these are the ones I created today. You know you have ADD when you forget to buy the milk, come home with milk bones, and you don't have a dog. You know you have ADD when you hear your neighbor's TV and ignore your oven timer until the smoke alarm goes off. All right, this is true. This happened to me, I swear. You know you have ADD when you come out of the supermarket, can't find your pickup truck, which I have, and then walk right past your vehicle 3 times before remembering that you took the other one to work. The other vehicle, my wife's van. I passed it by 3 times with a full shopping cart. Where's my truck? Where's my truck? Where's my truck? For my existence at work. My people come into my offices and say, Barry, I need that report that we read the other day. Yeah, I'll find it for you. And I hope that they walk out of my office and allow me 20 minutes to find it, because I usually can't. But I know I didn't lose it, and I reassure them I didn't lose it, I didn't throw it away, it's in here, somewhere, don't know where yet. All right, these are the ones that I made up but are true. You know you have ADD when you think you are in a blizzard whiteout when there are more than 5 sheets of paper in front of you. If I have 5 or more sheets of white paper, even if there's printing on it, even if the printing is different color, I don't, after a while, don't even know what I'm looking at. You know, and I mix papers up, I have filed things in the wrong files, and it's a lot of fun. Can be. You know you have ADD when your boss of this happened to me too. When your boss of 5 years unexpectedly calls to you in a crowded movie theater where you meet him unexpectedly, looking straight at him, you can only say, "Hi!" Because at that moment, you don't remember his name. That happened to me the other day. My boss came in down the hall at work, and I wasn't expecting him to be there at all that day. He says, "Hi, Barry." I say, "Hi."
But you recognize them.
But I recognize him, yeah. And he recognized me, which is more important, but I still got a paycheck. You know you have ADD. This is also true. This happened to me. I changed the words here in the facts. You panic upon approaching an old-time business associate at a fundraiser. This happened to me. I knew this guy for 5 or 8 years, or something like that. Greeting him with, "How's everything going at Walmart?" Because you can't remember his name. And he annoyingly responds, "It's Kmart, Fred," getting my name right. That's what I did once. I went to this guy and said, "Gee, how's everything at Mobil?" He said, "It's Exxon, Barry." And I said, "Oh." So I really felt like a jerk. But that's how I was trying to get around the fact I couldn't remember his name. All right, a few more. You know you have ADD when you are in a women's group that meets every Tuesday and one Saturday a month for 2 years, and you run into one of the other participants shopping, and you don't know who she is because you never seen her outside of the group before. Well, that's the same thing. I read the wrong one there. You know you have ADD when you're talking on the telephone. This is true for me. Your kids are talking nearby, and you shout at them because you can't hear. Really, you can't pay attention. And somebody, I don't know if it was Barkley or somebody else, wrote in their book that was almost a giveaway diagnostic. Not that you can diagnose ADD with one feature, but they said a lot of people with ADD who are not medicated get furious when somebody is talking in their vicinity when they're on the telephone because they are distracted by it and they overreact. And I've yelled at my kids, even as adults. I've yelled at my wife, take it in the other room. And, you know, and I don't mean to, but it's like, it's so disruptive to me trying to pay attention.
Go in the bathroom and turn on the fan.
Who, me or her?
No, the person
Oh.
talking on the phone. Go in the bathroom and turn
No,
on
but
the
then I'd
fan.
be listening to the fan.
No, I'm telling you, it works.
Okay, well, I have to try that. I will try that. Now, this is true for me. You know you have ADD when you tell the same old joke for the 10th time and it has a 12th new punchline. Got to think about that one. This is really me, although I didn't graduate from medical school, but this is absolutely me. You know you have ADD, and I graduated social work school, so I'll substitute here. You know you have ADD when you graduate social work school and think it was a fluke, quote, because, quote, I'm really dumb and they haven't realized it yet. I really felt until I got my diploma in my hand that I was really stupid, and I wrote well, and I wrote better than some, and that I shouldn't deserve to get a diploma. I still, you know, still feel that way to some extent. A few more. This is true for me too. You know you have ADD when you meet the woman of your dreams who truly loves you, but you don't know why. I mean, that's both humorous and real, because, you know, if your sense of self-esteem is low, I don't have to explain it, right? This is me too. You know you have ADD, and these are the ones I wrote today. You know you have ADD when you have road rage while sitting in the passenger seat. And two more. This is the end of that. Then I'll get to this. You know you have ADD when you give the parrot the dog's food and don't understand why your Rottweiler is growling at the bird. Okay, and the last one, you know you have ADD when you stay up all night to catch Santa coming down the chimney. And it's July 4th. I have been sitting in meetings and somebody would say, what was the date of that meeting? I said, I forget, it was something 1999. Where did 1999 come out of? I have no clue. All right, what I did was I really didn't plan anything other than getting a basic structure if I had to do something tonight. So that was my basic structure. And then I thought, you know what? Certain things will bring certain other things to mind. So I just brought in some objects. This is the calendar I'm going to use this coming year, non sequitur. I don't know if you can see it. I'll read the words to you. But on top is a businessman in a business suit carrying an attaché case. Do I remember that correctly? No, no attaché case. My memory is still not good. And behind him is a Neanderthal type. Behind him is an ape. Behind him a monkey. Behind him a rat. Behind him some sort of dinosaur. Behind him a fish with little legs. And probably behind him in the water is an amoeba. And the Neanderthal is saying to the man in front who's turning around to listen, I don't know. I thought they were with you. I don't know why I think that's funny, but I love it. All right. Your ADD, you know, when you hang these up in the windshield of your car and you blame the fact that your wife didn't wash the windshield because you can't see. These are actually mine, by the way. All right. Size 15. This I bought on purpose. I don't know why, but I just had to make a pun, so I bought it on purpose.
You need a red wig.
I need what?
A red wig.
A red wig? What?
Carrot Top.
Carrot Top. Who's Carrot Top?
Comedian.
Comedian. Oh, okay. Well, I don't
You
know.
know you're ADD when you don't know who Carrot Top
Yeah,
is.
probably so. Well, I'm not your garden variety comic. Okay, this, I'm not even sure why I brought this in, but if you're thinking of taking Ritalin, it's easier to swallow than that. Here we go. This I picked up in Maine, and I really liked it until I read it, and then I didn't like it, but then I liked it again. This is exactly what it says. It says, seniors, quote, brighten, unquote, brighten our community. It says compliments of Collins, McKee, Stone, funeral services. Swear to God, that's what it says on it. Yeah. They brighten us up. This, I don't know why I brought it. You know, bon appetit. I don't know why. My dog was chewing on it. I decided just to throw it in the bag. And I really don't remember why I put it in there, but something may occur to me before I finish. Yeah, I'm still searching. This is This is for you wannabes and scientists at home who want to decide if your kid is ADD. You just take a little epoxy, you glue it on their head, and you see how fast they go. You know, this thing actually works. And I should have made this disclaimer first. I really hope to God I am not insulting anybody here, because I am one of you, you are one of me, and this is the way I deal with my ADD. I like to joke, I like to fool around, and I like to find humor in things, because if not, God damn it, I get back into depression, and I'd rather be funny. So I hope I'm bringing you along with me. All right, wait a minute. Got a couple more here. This is if you want to start a new type of band. You just got a bunch of shoehorns together, and you All right, we get to the very bottom here, both in the style of humor and I have a couple of potatoes here. This is when you're ADD and you try to burn the candle at both ends, and you don't know why it doesn't work. These are two potatoes in love. And you know what their theme song is? I only have eyes for you. I told you I'm corny.
Would you like to repeat that?
Only have eyes for you.
I mean, the tune.
I only have eyes for you. That's all I know of it. I mean, I don't remember it anymore. When I was in the Army, I used to go into the shower in the middle of the night so I could have some peace and quiet, and I would sing in the shower. I actually would sing, but I wouldn't. I can carry a tune, but I don't know the words. So I would just do like the Swingle Singers. Anyway, yeah. You know you have ADD when you go to a Phillies championship game and you're wearing this. Okay.
You're lucky there's no photo.
Yeah. And I'm gonna.
Even an attack.
Somebody attached me to this thing here, but okay, it has to come. Whoops, it has to come off. You know you have ADD when you go to a beekeeper's convention, and the only thing you're wearing is this on your head and this on your trunk. And part of the beekeeper's convention is to see if you can gather up all the bees and get them back into the hive. Then you know you're ADD.
What are
You know.
you doing with that beehive?
It's, well, because I go up to Maine and the mosquitoes there are vicious, and I actually wore this on a canoe trip I took so I wouldn't get eaten alive. And I got half eaten alive. You know,
Now see, that's creative.
all right. And,
Yeah, but he was wearing that and a bathing suit.
Still creative. Stupid.
You know.
Like creative.
either that or I'm out of the Ming Dynasty. Take my sculpture, please, anybody.
He couldn't find a lampshade.
I also like Rodney Dangerfield because he got no respect, and I feel I'm getting a lot of respect tonight, so I appreciate that. But Rodney Dangerfield calls his girlfriend, "Hey, Gloria, can I come over?" She says, "Yeah, come on over." "Yeah, you know, I get no respect." She says, "Come over." I come over. She's not home.
His girlfriend?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, I thought
Don't
he was
answer.
married. Take my
Not
wife.
my girlfriend.
Please.
No, this is the last thing. I'm not nude under here. I just have to show you. You know you're ADD when you go on some sort of community. When you go to some sort of community outing, it's some sort of walk-a-thon or run-a-thon, and you wear a shirt like this. This is a real. Just call me Bladder Boy. I mean, you know, this shirt was given to me by a very good friend of mine, Mark Goldstein, who's a doctor, a very prominent guy up, and he's head of the urology department. And I said, I need one of these. And he said, you must be kidding me. I said, no, I'm not. I really want it. What does it say? It says Cornell Urology, the urinary tract team. Track with an ACK team. You know, you wear this in some marathons, you get people pissed off. But so, I am done. I made a fool of myself. I enjoyed doing it.
That's what I use in team.
Good. That's great, Barry. Great. Thank you very much, Barry. I'm gonna get that.
Watch those shoes, Gene.
Anybody want potato
Yeah,
salad?
I almost tripped over the 15s over here.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Yeah, we'll do that. When you came in, did everybody pick up?
Did everybody, because we have three back here, then you can get email.
Everybody needs to have one of these little numbered cards.
Comes in handy.
Might as well.
You can put it in
What's
there
it?
and then you
That's a
can draw one.
creative mind.
Oh, okay.
Just put my number like visible.
I don't know what we're getting.
Not that I'm asking you to cheat.
Are all the numbers handed out?
Yep.
They are?
Yep. Everybody have a ticket? Yep. Okay.
I just want to make sure that they're not stuck together, so I'm gonna, you know. chuck 'em in
He's
there.
just like
Yeah.
playing toss the cards.
Well, it's the only. I was just gonna say, I never miss doing it this way.
Don't toss the cookies, please.
In that mask anyway. You might need it again.
Okay.
We want to go first.
We have a book and then the three. Do the book.
Yes, okay. We're going to draw for the book. This is Edward Hollowell and John Rady, Answers to Distraction. This is the first thing.
Good book. It's really a good book. Okay. Would you like to pick one?
There's my number over there.
This is for Answers to Distraction. And the number is?
8.
Number 8.
Number 8.
Number 8.
8?
Number 8. Number 8. Number 8.
First call for 8?
No, no, 8.
No, 8.
Oh.
No, 8. Try it.
What did I say? Are they, you know.
Are they all there?
Yeah.
Meeting
not
one.
yet,
No,
all
they're
there.
all there.
Number 12.
Number 12.
Sue wins again.
This is 9 ADD.
Number 12.
Okay,
We are
here we
having
go.
fun.
Do you all have numbers?
Number 19.
Maybe we should, no, 19.
I'll keep picking until I find mine.
I don't know.
Yep. We have 3 more prizes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's an awful five.
I heard you. Thank you.
Welcome.
Well, this is for third. This is our third prize. Third prize, which is a pass for 3 ADD meetings during 2005.
And the number is?
16.
16.
We didn't fix it.
Ah.
If you want to draw again.
That's fair.
That's fair. Here's the winner.
Okay, well, if as long as you didn't
No,
want
I
to
actually
She
dumped
couldn't
down
say.
underneath
She
them.
couldn't
No,
say.
I actually dumped down
Uh,
underneath.
By the way, these passes, because we're these are transferable. If you can't make the meeting or you forget or whatever, you can give them to somebody else. What we're going to do is, when you present them at the door, whoever, it'll probably be Sue, she'll initial the back of that so that we know that you've been coming or someone has, and they're good for one or family.
Okay, the next
Second prize is for 5
3 passes.
5 passes during 1995. I said it, 1995. 2000.
Nobody
Number
blinks.
9. Number 9. No.
Jeez.
That's Sue again. Sue won again.
Boy, so you're a winner.
Sue's holding all the numbers over there.
Wasn't that in the Beatles song?
Number 9.
Yeah.
Number 9.
Number 17.
17.
I have 17.
Oh, whoa, they're gonna wrap on it.
How
Yeah.
about if we put it back, because he's already got one and I don't come, you want me to take a second chance?
What do you
if
think?
somebody-
Should she put it back?
Yes,
or
it's
should
That's what she
she-
wants.
so somebody who comes.
You want to
regularly.
contribute?
Yeah,
Okay, all right.
I'd be very
That's
happy.
nice.
Okay, thank you. Those were nice. Go ahead, pick another one.
We don't
No.
let somebody do.
Number 10.
Number 10. No,
Sue
no, no.
again.
Try it.
Are you sure there's some other numbers in there?
Number 1.
Number 1. Yeah, there it is. Okay, thank you very much.
There you go.
Okay, and this is now for the,
This is first prize. This is for free pass to all 10 meetings during 2005.
and the winner is number 14.
Right. I feel bad though, because I feel like we need to contribute.
Well, you can still contribute.
Thanks a lot. Very nice.
You come
Look,
to
you can go
every
out-
meeting.
You can
That's
go
what it
outside and
is.
scalp the tickets, sell for $10 a piece, you know? No.
If you give it to me, I forget how to pay anyway, but you got the ticket.
All right.
You know, like,
That's Dorothy and Andrew. And I'd like to say, if they don't mind, both my mother and my sister have ADD. And my mother is the oldest.
don't mind.
Too late! Of course, I have it too. It runs in the family. But anyway, my mother is 87 years old, and if you would like to talk to her about Ritalin or the medication she takes and how well it works, all I can say is she is one of the very few people that I know that takes her medication consistently and never misses a dose. She takes it every, 3.5 hours? And people cannot get over, how well she does. Her memory, we call her, my sister and I call her because she has a better memory than we do now. She never used to. She used to fall asleep in church. She never falls asleep in church anymore. She said she used to read her Bible and couldn't remember what she read. She now reads it and remembers it. And people just can't get over that she's 87. And by the way, what my mother does for a living is she takes care of elderly people.
God bless you.
92, 93, 95, and she also takes care of 2-year-olds and 5-year-olds. She's schizophrenic. What? I think today you were with her all day today.
No, I was just with her from 1 to 6 today. I was with my 94-year-old lady this morning, taking care of her.
Oh.
And then at 12:30 I went to my job and I cleaned her whole house. Did 7 loads of wash, down the basement, up and down, and here I am tonight.
Great.
She
Congratulations.
mows her own lawn.
It's wonderful.
She drives everywhere. All I can say is people who have ADD and are hyperactive when you get older, well, everybody says, oh, I wish I was like them. I hope I'm like them when I get older. Well, if you're hyperactive, there she is, and she loves doing for other people. So you can see where I get the genes, which is where my son got it from, too. And she is my right hand. She's always there for me. And she's helped me, I think, stay where I am and keep going, because when you know you have your family behind you 100%, there's never been a moment that I haven't thought that they were behind me. Right, Eddie?
That's right.
So I thank them for coming tonight and supporting
Yeah,
everything.
that's
And please talk to them, talk to everybody. This is supposed to be a celebration.
Yes,
So
we're going to cut our cake, and please help yourself to refreshments and
mingle, talk to
hang around
everybody.
and
Yeah.
you can speak, talk with us, or, and thank you very much for coming, and we hope to see you next month. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Barry.
Oh, good.
Eddie.
Nice to meet you, Eddie.
Your name is?
Gene Riley.
But, she would make. This is my lunch, my dinner, sounds good.
Oh, I can't wait to eat it too.
They did like a
Pleasure
whole
meeting you.
You certainly did enjoy it.
It's like they
Oh,
thought
right.
quite a bit of stuff.
Oh, I'm telling
I'm
you.
Barry.
Yeah, Barry, well, I'll remember your name. Because I heard it several times.
Why would you remember Barry?
I don't know, because I,
I'm terrible at names. This is what I should have told you. This is a true Amanda. So I practiced it. She said, okay, Amanda. About 10 times, out loud. I walk into her office, and I say, hi, I'm Amanda. I swear to
she probably thought you were joking.
she thought I was really weird.
I just need something to read.
Cutting big pieces.
Anything.
Whatever you want.
I didn't realize that was your sister that works with our kids and they get the scholarships and everything. Perfect.
You did?
Yeah, and because she knows one of the teachers
You
that
know what I've
was,
done like that?
let us know
Tangentially involved.
there were no
in the
scholarships.
I didn't see them that often, but I knew them from.
You know, because we're in the
As soon as they
basement.
started walking towards me, I'm like that.
Interesting.
Couldn't remember their names.
That's funny. Well, now I
So
have
I
a
told
contact.
that to Merrill. Josh, introduce yourself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
right.
And if you do it smoothly, quick enough, nobody figures it out.
How you're eating and stuff, as I know, she'd be eating, you know.
That's a good idea.
I enjoy it.
Yeah, you just have to grab her. You gotta come in and grab her.
You don't just retire and
You gotta come there early in the day and get surprises.
Part of the executive for a number of years. How many years?
She looks very familiar. I recognize some of the.
Over a year ago.
You're gonna upgrade. I don't know, I'm trying to remember what version you had, 6?
I don't know.
Okay, because they let you upgrade going back maybe 2 versions.
And I don't realize it. I'm like laying down.
I'm going to try it out with the kids who come with their parents to that meeting. They meet once a month at the senior center. And they have an activity room across the hall from the parents.
Videos are fine. I was just thinking of this morning, especially for the holidays, because that cake.
Oh God, not again. You cannot film me while I eat. Turn the camera
How many kids are in a flight or a hut like treehouse and they just looked at me. I mean, there was one little girl who had, but none of the other kids. I mean, they didn't look at me like in a.
Every day she does this, does that. She's changes the beds every other day, and changes the sheets, and piles and piles of laundry.
They're somewhere with somebody, an adult, all the time. And that feels to me it's like they're missing out on the learning about materials, about values.
And I name those things around.
It was totally different because I guess my AD did.
Or my head might start
And I
going
do
all over.
coffee when I was in college. I did cheese mealings and stuff to try to get through.
And I have to make her, she can't sit through a movie without either folding clothes, doing paperwork, writing checks. So it's like a completely different.
Yeah. I'm supposed to.
So what's your position at Perkins? Are you an artist or are you?
No, I'm the receptionist. Oh, no, we're very happy to talk. I just
Well, my mom was getting to that place, but she was never
How much do you take?
Well, you have to until we get, the building is.
You know, Friday's your paper day. And you probably hate Fridays. Sure. Because that's the day you have to do your paperwork.
So you'll have to candidate. So because he loves, everybody loves him. So, and he loves, the church, he knows everybody so well. But he is, but he'll have to candidate. And then if we vote him in, which I
And that's
imagine
what
they will.
the church will vote in?
Yeah, and then.
Then you'll need somebody else to take over the youth, right?
Yes, well, some of the elders are even offering to do that. Some of them taking the youth group with Andy Todd.
Okay. Still a sign up there. I don't know if they have a different studio now or. Elizabeth told me, but it escapes me exactly. Then I usually have
You're not doing a good job, or anything, or someone's upset with you or mad at you for some reason, it devastates me. That's me, but they're just some of the things that tag along. That's the baggage that goes with me. But the ADD is taking
Yeah, the Adderall did not work.
in
I
it,
wasn't
right?
sure with the Adderall. You know, with the Ritalin and the Concerta, cognitively, I'm sure I can get going, I can stay on task, and I can stay totally focused and not go through that like.
We wanted to renovate our building.
so that kept his attention.
Regular
History, geography.
And we have to go some of it's in the second floor.
Back, and she could see her. She would pull back. She would have an attitude about it. She talked to her. And my daughter works away in college.
Well, she has multiple diagnoses, and I feel bad because
So when I would be in class and they'd say, read the chapter and answer all the questions at the end of the chapter, I would hear somebody start, I would be like into the first paragraph, you know, and then I'd hear a page turn. Well, screw the rest of that stuff. I'd turn the page, and then I'd start at the top. And then when I hear another page turn, I'd turn the page. And it got to the point where I never read a chapter. I would go right to the end where the questions were. And that's how I
Sometimes because he's on meds and sometimes he's
here now. The first question is always first.
yeah,
She called me back 3 days later and apologized that it took her 3 days because she was so busy with other things. And she really was sorry. Listened to me, said, don't worry, I'll send you a prescription. And if your pharmacy company won't fill the prescription because you're out sooner than they expected, she said, I always have samples. She's not charging me. Where is she? She's in... Oh, she's new.
Yeah.
I think it's Bordentown Landing Road. She's in the phone book, I think. She has to be.
Maybe I'll definitely take the name.
Heidi Cooperstein. Cooperstein.
It's called white noise. You don't concentrate on it.
I don't know.
You just really hear it.
Heidi, yes. D.O.
That they can't time difference. You'll hear mom.
she used to say, the first thing she was that was appeared to be. She used to say from day one,
But you don't have to, you know, like on the pile, in the office on the pile of papers, where the hell is it?
Yeah.
Well, you can always find it in here, as long as you give the document the right title.
Right.
So, again, it's only a tool. When I have to sit, I use this when I have to sit and do,
Camden, and
I was just asking that, so you are doing outreach in Camden?
oh yes, we do a lot of outreach, and we're
Because I know
Cesar,
I know
he's from Mexico or somewhere. He's doing all the work in Camden.
Well, there's actually, right next door to special needs, and I don't think he fully understands her learning disability.
I don't think so.
And he's not very patient with her. And
Does he know
I
that?
don't like the way he treats her. We don't like the way he treats her at times. See, now Andrew and I were talking amongst ourselves, because I just met a few of these people a couple weeks ago.
No, I know you're not trying to.
You know, when it's imposed on me, okay, this is what you're going to do. Yeah. So now I work at what I've done this summer, and it worked is we have it's a summer program, and it's from like 8:30 to 12:30, so it's short, so I can still get things. You know, I'm not like working a full day, and it's good money. Yeah. I have a friend who's a teacher. That's enough. I have a 95 Mustang GT with a 5.0. That's part of it.
She would maintain it, but I just have a lot of knowledge and can help a lot of people. I just feel that if I had people under me, people that I could teach them right and teach them thoroughly. And yeah, remember, I taught her a lot of things in life, it's kind of how to ride the bus, use cell phones, because all that stuff. It's really, and when I think about what she did in the basement, to be mean.
Being chased out.
Yeah, I know. I saw them down there starting to gather.
He's so congenial.
Gotta move it.
How are you? Good. How are you?
Where is it?
He's in,
Take the room so that they can start cleaning. I think we forgot to invite him to the party, and that's why.
So far, money.
I don't know.
Nice to meet you.
I'm sure there's going to be something out there you don't know. Because every time I think I'm more
Thank you very much. 10 more.
for the next 10. I hope so too.
Thanks for sharing tonight. It was great. Enjoyed.
Happy holiday.
Plus all the fines he has to pay and then the surcharges.
Okay. Oh, everyone take a balloon, please. For our anniversary, Mark, I want you to take a picture of the adventure, okay?
Take your medicine. Because I do take a medicine for depression and anxiety. And I take something for the shakes.
You don't have such a patient, so top of your head? She does.
Have you?
Taking your
Grab one.
There you go. That was the.
Oh, you're welcome.
Linda, where are we doing the picture?
Yeah. We want a picture of all of us adventures.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. See you, Fred.
over the years for me.
Yeah, this house won't come in now.
No, and I have a lot of her stuff in my house. I have my husband's 95-year-old aunt's house we had to sell. I have all of her antique furniture in my house. That's what my husband will kill.
Now, wait, a picture of all this. Sure.
Yes.
Okay, you.
So when I email, just else mailer in my, it's like Norman mailer, but with an S on the front. That's all.
Right.
Fred, thank you.
All right. You guys later.
Oh, I do.
Keen, did I give you my pen?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
videotape the maintenance guy yelling at us. Get out of the room. Because that's an ADD thing, you know?
Yes.